Okay. You knew that this time was coming. You knew that I was going to do Star Wars reactions. You knew that there's too many games, too many clips of Star Wars to not dive into. So today I'm doing Star Wars Eclipse. This trailer came out 2 years ago. I haven't seen it since it dropped, so I forget most everything about it except that I loved it then. So we'll see what I love about it now. And we'll break down the filmmaking styles of it. We'll see what inspires us. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to re-dive into this. Here, you'll get my genuine reaction. We'll figure this out. Let's dive in. No more waiting. It's time for some Star Wars. We got the gong. We got the sun. What else do you need? All these circular shots right out of the gate. Dunch. That's so sick. The music is so unlike anything that we've heard in a Star Wars trailer before. These visuals. The color palette of everything. The scale. Yep. That reoccurring sun shot. They're throwing so much at you. Yeah. Look at that. Ooh, it's so sick. It feels massive. Let's go. Oh. Oh, that turn. Bro. That slow push in. I don't remember any of this. Welcome to Dune. Filthy. Oh my gosh. That music. Those audio hits. Are you kidding me? Wow. There is so much to unpack here. I'm so glad I got to rewatch this again. It has been so long. This final shot. Well, we'll go through from the beginning. My gosh, there's visual stimulation, just absolute overload happening right now. This slow, right out of the gate, it just captures your attention instantly. And why does it do that? Well, for a number of reasons. One, a very centered, symmetrical shot is always a very artistic approach and really helps something look just like a stand above the rest. It's very intentional. He's obviously moving his arm in a perfect circle. The lighting is super cool here too, very top-down lighting. This is how I would light a music video shoot a lot of times, especially if it's like a rock music video shoot. The top-down lighting just makes everything feel a lot heavier and meatier. Obviously, these cuts to the sun here, very epic. And then the circular on the eyes, where we keep going through these circular visuals over and over again, very intentionally, obviously. We are 18 seconds, almost 20 seconds into this trailer, and there's been no sound yet. But you're completely captivated just on the visuals alone. There we go, 20 seconds in, we have our first audio cue. This is cool. They're really taking their time. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to take their time. And the reason is like I've talked about in previous videos, if you can come out of the gate with a really striking first image, if they can grab your attention right away, you kind of earn the next section of time from your viewers. Your viewers aren't going to click away if you come out of the gate strong. And so a first image is so important. A lot of times I see people coming out with a shot similar to this. This might be a lot of filmmakers' first choice is to, oh, let's do an establishing shot of the stars and kind of pan down. See, this is interesting, but nowhere near as gripping as the first shot of this. It's not even comparable. So I do think that the order is really important whenever you're deciding, this whole trailer is only a couple minutes long. So you need to grab people right away. And what are the most important shots to get off the ground and to get people's attention so they're hooked and they're invested. This shot is a great shot, but if it was just the stars slowly panning, you might actually lose some viewers, or people aren't as invested and not gripped right out of the gate. This is really pretty though. Obviously you then, you're kind of panning over, revealing the 3-tiered planets here, and you can tell the distance is really cool. You have a broken ship falling into it here. Yeah, this is cool. This is a very subtle lifting of the camera to kind of reveal more. You're seeing more here, especially if you look at the bottom. You're seeing more revealed of these pathways, of these roads. And it's just a way to create a little bit of parallaxing, a little bit of interest versus just a static shot. And even if it was a static shot slightly pushing in, you wouldn't have that parallaxing. So this is just like a subtle way to keep your interest for just a couple of shots. For just a couple of seconds within the shot. This is blowing my mind because this shot in particular feels like I'm watching real footage. This looks like something out of one of the movies or out of a Disney Plus show. This looks real. It is breaking my brain a little bit that this is animated. But it's really cool. Star Wars isn't afraid to play around with some fun stuff. You have these little 3-eyed little chicken monkey things here that are very cool. Everything on this whole entire image, though, and that you're seeing in this city in particular, has a really cool color palette. You'll notice it's like softer. Nothing is pure black. Nothing is all the way to 0 as far as pure blacks go. So it's very soft, very overcast, diffused lighting. You have a lot of haze. So you're seeing in the background, there's just like lots of haze blurring out the background. This is a very, very intentional, soft feeling for this. Yeah, with all this, you can see that this distant haze here in the background really adding so much depth and life to this whole scene. This is a really cool shot because you don't realize the shot is about anything else other than a wide shot of this town square, right? You think like, oh yeah, this is just an establishing B-roll shot, and it kind of tricks you because we've had a couple of those shots back to back. We've had a few shots that's just random people, random situation, but then it becomes very intentional. So the camera is lowering and you think you're kind of lulled into like, oh yeah, it's just B-roll, but then boom, if you're not paying attention, all of a sudden you have a focal point, a main character that steps out of the shadows right into the light. This is beautiful lighting here, right from the top right-hand side, that he's kind of turning his head into to reveal this character. I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed. This looks like, they are playing instruments, but this does look like something right out of a music video. I would emulate this lighting often for music videos. That really cool, strong overhead diffuse. There's so much haze. You can see how quickly these guys are disappearing into the haze. So just pumping it full of smoke and lighting it from the top down, a nice strong backlight to really give some nice edge light to these guys, makes them feel very strong, very powerful. And you could shoot this yourself. You could shoot this in a garage and make this look very similar to what you're seeing here. Sense of scale here is outrageous. These pillars, which might even be fingers, it looks like almost like 3 fingers. You can just tell how big it is. You have the ship flying in the distance. You have all this fog rolling in the bottom. It's very easy to identify the scale of what you're looking at. Another shot. This is another one that just looks, you could have slipped this right into a live action movie, and I'm not sure that I would be able to tell that this is fully CGI. This is beautiful. I love this really shallow depth of field here. It's really making you focus on the robot here, which is amazing. I don't know if this is C-3PO before having all the plate armor on, but it looks really cool. I personally, if I was designing a shot like this, I feel like there needs to be more happening on the left side of the screen here. So for me, even for something that's out of focus, I feel like if there's a crashed ship or a building, something over on the side besides just 2 layers of rocks, I think would be a lot more visually interesting here. The animation work here is gorgeous on the robot, on the droid, but I do feel like there's some missing space here on the left that I personally, if I was designing a shot like this, I would want there to be something else there. A ship flying in the background or wreckage, just something to help kind of give you more to look at on this image when you're rewatching it. This reoccurring motif of the eclipse happening is gorgeous. They're cutting into it at the right times throughout this whole thing. Really cool. This, oh my gosh, I could watch this on loop for days. This is so beautiful. I'm curious if this might just be training, right? Because you have a green and blue lightsaber. It doesn't really matter. We're looking at the shots. But this is, of course, my favorite. No surprise. It's silhouetted. I love a strong silhouette. You have this setting sun in the background. It's creating a perfect cut for them to walk through here. You have these really strong arches that they're standing on, so you get that sense of scale, you get that sense of height. This feels really big. I love the choice to do a close-up first and then cut back to the wide, because I think often with filmmaking, we are kind of typically, I feel like the shot approach is to do your wide and then punch in. So you establish it first, and then you start to get more details as the scene unfolds. Whenever you're able to showcase like a detail first and then punch out and reveal it, I always think that's a really cool way to shake it up. Because your audience is almost like more invested. Right now, our eyes are already drawn to the close-ups of the lightsabers hitting. So as soon as we cut to the wide, that's what we're hunting for. We're re-hunting for the information we just saw a frame ago. And so right away, boom, this lands us right where we need to. We're looking at these two characters fighting. If you just started on this wide, they're a little off to the side, your eyes might wander a little bit before gravitating. But because the previous shot had that action right away, we just dive right in and we are already following it. Because it's such a short shot. Whenever you're doing trailers, cinematics like this, you have to make use of you have to guide people's eyes along the journey. And they really hold that shot for a number of hits, which I think is really cool. They actually let it play out a little bit, which is awesome. It shows some good restraint. You got that nice, almost like jib move or like drone shot that's like slowly pushing up and to the left to give you a little bit of parallax, and it just kind of changes the scene just subtly as it's going. Got that camera moving up. I love a moving camera. On almost everything that I do, you'll never see a camera being static, whether that's a VFX shot, whether that is obviously handheld, but or on sticks or gimbal, anything I'm doing, I always want to have either a little bit or a lot of bit of movement, because it's just a way to keep the whole image feeling really high end and feeling just really energetic. That clash is so cool. Look at this. So you have, this is so intentional. You have the lightsaber swinging from the left, and it's swooping down through the scene. And on that swing, we cut to a spaceship flying at that exact same speed and that exact same left to right motion. Look at this. That is how you carry on the energy from one scene to the next, because your eye is already transferring left to right, and then boom, you come into this one and the ship is flying left to right. Brilliant. This is also another cool reveal. You have that ship that guides your eye here at the bottom that's flying through, but then you realize, oh, what I really need to be looking at is this other ship landing. Oh, here we go. Yep, this is so cool. So we have, you can see all this heavy haze, and these guys, it's also super symmetrical, which is amazing. If I were to shoot this, if I were to create this shot, on set practically, you could probably get away with doing this with only a couple of extras. You could set up these drums and film one of them, keep the camera locked down, and then move them to different places around your scene and record them in the angles that you wanted, light it, then you could comp it all together in After Effects, and then do a slight digital zoom or pull out or camera shake afterwards. But you could accomplish this shooting it just in your garage all by yourself and just duplicate it a few times. This is actually an inspiring shot that, watching this unfold right now, I'm kind of thinking I would like to try to recreate this or something similar to this as kind of a proof of concept, because I'm talking about it, but I'd love to actually pull it off. Sense of scale is really important. I love this, that we're going through different style of shots, right? We have some medium shots showing a bunch of characters. We go to super wide shot showing scale, and then we have a nice personal shot. This is really cool because it's framed. You have this nice vignetting of characters. It's not just a tree out of focus. It's not just darkening the edges of your image. It's literally characters, and you could tell that. And then as the sabers ignite, really, you know exactly what's about to go down. That's a really cool reveal shot because you don't realize how much is behind him. You're focused too much on this lead, maybe commander here walking up front, and as the camera pushes over him, you have that gleam of light kick in, and you have all these vast armies, these vast ships. Yeah. Love that. You're getting, anytime you have ships flying close to the camera, don't be afraid to do a little bit of that wiggle there to help really sell the energy. Like somebody's actually holding a camera and you kind of get jostled by the exhaust of the camera. You get wow, I can't even speak. You kind of get shaken by the ships flying by. So cool. Now this is like full on montage. They're just jumping from shot to shot to shot to really sell this with the drummers and with this space battle. Yep. What an iconic image to end on here with these drummers. As soon as it ends, you just have like those 5 drummers right in a line. This reveal is really cool. This is the first time we've seen his face, so kind of holding off on that until now is really awesome. And obviously having it be like not exactly a human is a really cool payoff as well. But you can notice this lighting is still very, very, very top lit and very soft. So if you were to film this, you would do it like, you would do diffusion. You would do, a softbox right over top. Make a nice soft light for him. Deep, dark eyes here. This is beautiful lighting. So much texture on like the paint is all worn on the chest. This looks so pretty. Super shallow depth of field for this shot. Like this, they're shooting on like a 1.4 here. You have super shallow depth of field, but as you're pushing over, you realize that you're about to see something, right? It's ushering you into the scene. Awesome silhouetted shot here because you're getting the strong reflections from this like viscous oily substance. Makes him really pop. They do a nice soft glow behind him, like further behind the camera that you're seeing. So you have this really nice soft white glow that's making this black blob just pop really strong. And then you see the human figure, which is cool because now you have that strong edge light. Which is right here. It just makes this character pop so strong. Yeah, we have our final shot and reveal. There's a lot to unpack here. It's super cool. They're taking you through so much. My favorite shots are the shots of the drummers because it feels so unlike anything I've seen in Star Wars before. A lot of these just feel like classic Star Wars, which you kind of need to have to still usher in, be like, yeah, this is Star Wars, right? You look at this and you're just like, yeah, this could be in episode 3 and you wouldn't think anything of it. But then you have those shots of the drummers. Same with this, like it's just classic. It looks good, looks clean, but it looks right from the movies. But then the intercut with stuff we haven't seen before, which is like this kind of dark stuff, man, it's really ambitious. It's really ambitious, really gripping. And once again, starting off the whole trailer this way is brilliant. Have no notes because whenever you have an image this striking right out of the gate, you earn the viewer. And I think that's super important. So yeah, Star Wars Eclipse, this absolutely slaps. I'm obsessed with this idea of like creating Star Wars content that no one has really seen before. It's always fun to make content or to see content in the Star Wars world that you are used to and like, but it's super cool to see some visuals that we've never seen before. And especially these drummers really stand out as something we've never seen before. And it just makes that whole piece feel really cool. So I think a couple of takeaways for me is number 1, opening image, make that the coolest image that you have and try to earn somebody's view through the whole thing. And 2, see what you can tweak to make something feel the freshest. Even if you're working in an IP that people are familiar with, you still have enough to hook people with what they're familiar with, but bring in your own flair. So yeah, I love this. I'm hyped on it. I'm glad we got to rewatch this. I'd forgotten most of it, but I'm so excited to rewatch it. So let me know in the comments what other kind of Star Wars content you'd like me to watch here for trailers or cinematics. There's obviously so much out there. I wanted to dive into this one today. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll see you around later. All right, see you.